Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue au Pendu dans le Cercle de Lune. Hello friends. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know that this is my series in which I use Terre de Marseille adjacent, and antique Italian decks to help me explore a topic, to help me explore the message that I received from the spread I've done earlier in the week. And I've already done that spread. Yeah, I do that spread, and then I ask the question, what is the central message of that spread? And then I do this spread, and we read this spread together. And because of that, because this spread is based on the previous spread, I highly recommend you go and watch the first video before watching this one. Because that way you will understand the foundation, the basis from which this spread is being read. If this spread were not in relationship to that previous spread, I would probably read these cards in a different way. Right? So, I'll put a card up here for you to be able to click on and hop on over and watch that spread first, just in case you haven't done so. Yeah? If you have done so already and it's been a while, maybe you watched that spread in bits and pieces and you just want a little bit of a refresher, I'm here to help you with that. So, this earlier spread this week, I think I called Find the New Path. And it was interesting. There was a lot of astrologically fixed signs. There were a lot of astrologically fixed signs in that spread. We had fixed earth, we had fixed air, we had fixed fire, and we had fixed water. And so I was a little bit tempted to name that spread Stubbornness. Don't be stubborn. But I don't like negative titles. I don't like the don't do this titles because it's putting our minds, it's putting our attention in the wrong place. So the correct place, the advice that we got was cut through the bullshit and find a new way and allow the new to grow from within. Right? And that had a lot to do with our relationships with other people. It had a lot to do with how we look at where we are, what we're doing, what we're thinking, how we're perceiving the world, our emotions, how we're feeling, how other people are feeling, all of that. There's a lot of analysis, but there was also a strong indication that we don't want to overanalyze. We don't want to move into analysis paralysis, but we want to analyze things clearly, and that it is beneficial to do so without over-analyzing. And again, cutting through the bullshit. Yeah, we're probably not seeing things clearly. We're probably fighting the wrong battles. So find the new way. And maybe we'll see, what is this week's spread telling us? What is this Terre de Marseille spread telling us? What am I going to do now? Well, first, what I will do is I will show you the entire spread. Yeah, and I'll tell you the question again. I'll show you the spread, and we'll talk about the decks and the spread generally. And then we'll break the spread into its two major parts, and we will read those parts together. Are you all ready? Here's the spread. If you are a regular watcher of this channel, you definitely know the deck on the bottom, right? That is from those cards are from the Cercle de Lune, which is a wonderful astrologically based woodcut tarot deck. Woodcut oracle deck. I'm sorry, a woodcut print oracle deck. And it's a little challenging to purchase, I would recommend purchasing this deck if you want it from Amazon France. It's a wonderful deck. The book you can get either from Amazon France, or I believe it's also available at Amazon in the United States. The deck, I think you're going to have to order from France. And I think that's the most economical way to get it. It's a wonderful deck again. It gives a little bit of an astrological, astrological lift to a tarot reading. Being a wood block print oracle deck, I think it works beautifully, especially with Tarot de Marseille decks, because they're also wood block print decks, right, with stenciled coloring. Both of these decks are of a similar style, and I think they work, again, beautifully together. The deck above, the tarot deck, is a new one in my library. It's a wonderful recreation of the Joseph Jäger Tarot Besançon, created by Artisan Tarot. So the deck itself is beautiful. Cardstock, beautiful. Shuffleability, beautiful. Durability, beautiful. Recreation of the artwork, beautiful. Price, reasonable. So there'll be a link in the description box below to Artisan Tarot's site. I also have, just for your information, I also have the Yves Renan version of this same deck, which is more of a facsimile, which I also love. I love having both of these. If I were to just say one thing to what do we call them, to Artisan Tarot, the deck is wonderful. The tuck box is fine. Having a cloth case, just like the Noblet or the Dodal that I purchased from you, having a cloth case to put the deck in would be bliss. And I missed the pins. There wasn't a pin with this deck, which is a little sad. The pins are very nice, but really having a cloth case for this deck would just make things wonderful, because the cards are really durable. The tuck box I don't think is very durable. Just saying. Yeah, it's nice, it's good, but it's a cardboard box. So, anyways, beautiful deck, wonderful deck. Highly recommend this. And it's a Besançon. What does that mean? Just in case you don't know. A Besançon deck means that it has removed the Pope and the Popess, and it has replaced those two with the two Greek gods, Juno and Jupiter. So Juno for the Popess, Jupiter for the Pope. 2 and 5, right, in the major arcana. This deck is also basically type 1 deck, a type 1 deck, which means the moon is facing face forward. Cupid is blindfolded. There's a shield on the chariot card that gives the initials of the creators of the deck, the original creators of the deck. There's a crinoline canopy on top of the chariot. What else is there? There are a couple more things that are not coming to mind, but those are the key things that leap to my mind right now. Also, there's there are two elements which remind me of the Swiss tarot. Yeah, the Ace of Cups is like a communion style chalice, and the Two of Coins has a banner with no printing on it. Doesn't tell you the name of and the place of the creation of this deck. So, very interesting deck. It's a fabulous deck. I highly recommend it. I've done a walkthrough of this deck. So if you want to... Well, maybe I'll put a card up here for that too. I don't know if I can. If I can, I'll put a card up here. If I cannot, I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to go see the walkthrough of this deck. Okay, so promos all aside, you know where you can get the decks. You've seen the cards. Now let's break them down and read them together. First, we'll look at the 3 cards above from the tarot deck, and then we'll look at the 3 cards below. Are you all ready? Here are the 3 tarot cards right now. The 3 cards we got from the Jakob Jäger deck the Besançon deck, were from left to right, the Sun, the Six of Swords, and then the Knight of Swords. Yeah, we don't really, the Sun card is interesting. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But you saw the beauty of this deck, right? It's beautifully designed. It's very easy to see. The artwork, the recreation of the artwork, I think is just phenomenal. And again, here's what the backs of the deck look like. It's a mottled, marbled pink on white, right? And again, the cardstock is thin, but very durable. Now, casino quality, linen finish, shuffles beautifully. Wonderful. But let's read the deck, right? Let's read the cards. Which direction do you think I would read this spread? From left to right or right to left? So the first card was the Sun. The two beings, the two creatures, the two humanoids on that card are both basically, I mean, their bodies are facing in opposite directions a little bit, but they're facing forward. Not a really clear indication of line of sight to me. Their eyes are kind of pointed towards each other. I don't have clear line of sight indications. The Knight of Swords gives us a very clear line of sight, right? The Knight of Swords is looking off to the left. And in between those two cards we have a pip card, right? We have the number element card of the Six of Swords. So I'm going to read this card from right to left. Does that make sense? Yeah? So we'll look at the Knight of Swords first. Beautifully done. The printing down here between the legs of the horses says Franz J. Jürger. Yeah, so it's made in France and it's Joseph Jürger, which is interesting because Joseph Jürger is not French born. He immigrated to France, got married to somebody who was in a family of printers. And so that's how Joseph Jürger became the printer of tarot decks. Lovely, lovely history. Beautiful card, right? Very clear again. The images are wonderfully redrawn. Fabulous, fabulous. We see the knight got the epaulette on his shoulder, reminding us a little bit of the Chariot card. But this isn't a chariot, this is the Knight of Swords. And we see that two of the legs of the horse are light blue, making us think of the mind and of our vision. And then two of the legs are pink, which make us think of the fleshiness of the horse, right? So there's mind and flesh joined in this horse in the way it's moving forward in the world. And so the Knight of Swords is not only of thought, but also of action. And there's a little impulsiveness in the Knight of Swords. Maybe not as impulsive as the Knight of Wands, which can be a little hot-headed. This is the impulsiveness of being ready and attempting to make a leap into the unknown. And ready to defend his, her, or their beliefs. Because we are all knights, right? Whether we're in male bodies, we're in female bodies, we're in cis bodies, we're in trans bodies, we're in intersex bodies, it makes no difference. We are all knights, we're all pages, we're all kings, we're all queens. Can we all get on board with that? So, we are this knight, and we are ready to defend our beliefs. We're ready to fight for a spiritual cause, and we're ready to give testimony because we know what's right. And we're taking action that is a little impulsive. And these two things were actually generally described in this week's earlier spread. With the Seven of Wands, first the Five of Swords for the significance, and then the challenge of the Seven of Wands. There's an impulsiveness, a drive to keep acting when it might not be beneficial. And some of these qualities of the Knight of Swords, I think, are not to our benefit. This impulsiveness, the leaping into the defending of our beliefs, the fighting for spiritual causes is not, I think, our most beneficial attribute at this time. I don't think that those attributes are beneficial, is what I'm trying to say. Now, going into the unknown might actually be beneficial, but the other trappings are not. And this Knight of Swords is looking forward to what qualities? Six of Swords qualities, right? Within these Six of Swords, these 6 swords, we see a flower getting ready to bloom. It's a large, strong, vibrant-looking flower there in the center. Now, it's a flower of mind and corporal passion. Light blue, red, right? And this is the card of intellectual appreciation, reflection, contemplation. It's the beauty of thought. It's the reflection on thought. It's also curiosity. And the enjoyment of that curiosity, the pleasure of thinking. And reveling in the beauty of ideas. Playfully. Now we want to have a playful mind here as well. And we want to love and relish the thoughts that we have and the ways that we communicate those thoughts. Our minds can become positive here and know their own finesse. Know that we are mentally limber and nimble. Yeah, limber and nimble. We have finesse. And we can talk. And our dialogue can be enriching both for ourselves and for others. So this knight who is moving forward wants to move away from impulsiveness and defensiveness to appreciation, reflection, understanding the beauty of their ideas and thinking playfully and being intellectually nimble and limber and lithe. And if the Knight of Swords is able to move in that direction, we will come into the sun. This is a beautiful card here. Do you agree? You notice the figures. Do they look like they are two different sexes? Like one might be a male figure and one might be a female figure? To me, I see the figure with my finger as a female-looking figure, and I see this other figure as a more male-looking figure, but that's just the way I see them. I often see these two figures as both being male. Just saying. In this particular deck, and especially with this redrawing, I see one as being more female and one being more male. That can be meaningful, the joining together. But the sun card, I forgot. Also, look at the wall behind them. This is such an interesting wall. There's a bit that's jutting out and reminds me of some fortresses I've seen where they have the wall isn't just straight. Part of it juts out so that archers can go in there and have a broader range of sight, and they can shoot at people who are close to the wall and far away from the wall, right? So this defensive structure is more effectual than some other walls might be, maybe. But still, what is this card representing? For us, it's joy, it's power. So the knight moving through the Six of Swords with that curiosity, enjoying thinking, enjoying talking about their ideas, enjoying the playfulness of thought, and relishing contemplation and reflection and curiosity. We move into our joy and our power and success. We reclaim our determination, but not our stubbornness. We claim our abundance and our happiness. And we rekindle our motivation to keep moving on in our powerful. What kind of lives do we want to live? Our lives of intention. We move forward in our powerful intentional lives with this card. We give love and receive it. We are in partnership. And in a partnership of mutual aid. We're here to not only love other and receive love, but to give and receive help. Because we're here in a new life, and that new life is also the development from the death card in the earlier spread of this week. The fertilization that gave forth the new life. Here it is, the new life. And it's intelligence. We see things clearly. We break with the past to build something more. All indicated from the earlier spread of this week. Right? So, the Knight of Swords, we started off as Knights of Swords instead of 5 of Swords and 7 of Wands. We started off as the Knight of Swords with some potential pitfalls. But we move, we purify our mind through the 6 of Swords, and we come into the Sun and into relationship, which relationship was indicated in this week's earlier spread. We come into relationship, helping each other, loving each other, accepting help, accepting love. We're determined, we're motivated, but at the same time we're happy, we're feeling successful, we're feeling our power, we're feeling joyful. All wonderful things, right? And those are potential outcomes if we're willing to purify through the 6. Now, friends, we have 3 cards of perhaps advice. We'll see if they're advice or not from the oracle cards below. Are you all ready to take a look at those? Here they are. The 3 cards you just saw from left to right were the Wheel in a Rut, the blue card, and the Master Plan. So, the first card, the Wheel in the Rut. We got this fairly recently. Now you see the wheel there stuck between 2 mountains, right? The side title of this card is Retard, which means delay. So there are plans, there are things that are delayed. And we got an indication of that in this week's earlier spread with this 5 of Swords and the 7 of Wands, that things are not progressing well. We might be experiencing a feeling of loss of energy, a loss of motivation, especially with the 5 of Swords. And so that's reiterated here, I believe, in the Wheel and the Rut. And the wheel indicates cycles. So we might be feeling in a rut now, but we remember that those ruts that we are temporarily stuck in are not eternal ruts, right? The world turns. Cycles happen. Now the rocks on the side are golden rocks, which are immovable and firm. But they're still golden rocks of the divine, so maybe we're trapped here, we're in this rut for a reason. Maybe our not being able to move forward might be a good thing because we might be heading into trouble. Yeah? Maybe, just maybe. The meaning of this card is inconveniences. Nothing's going to happen for a while. We can see some possibilities, but they're yet to be fulfilled. They haven't started happening yet. We see the potential in the future, but we're not there yet, right? And right now we're in a big old pause. We're in a big old holding pattern. Now the sub-astrology for this card is associated with Saturn, right? Which is the cutting off of things, the limiting of things. But the sub-astrology for this card is Mars. And Mars with Mercury What does that tell us? It tells us that we have the drive necessary for action. We can do what we want to do. We've got the power. But progress will probably be a little slow. And this is probably not a good time for pushing things too quickly, trying to make things happen, trying to engage in that battle. We were cautioned against engaging in battle. We're suggested to find a new way, right? So right now we're in a rut, and that rut could be beneficial. This pause could benefit us because it might be our chance to find that new way. And we have the energy to go that new way. Might take a little bit of time though. But this next card is is what you might be thinking, what is that, the back of the deck? No, that's not the back of the deck. The backs look like this. Yeah? This is an additional card by the original creator of this deck, Belin. And it's called the blue card, right? What is that? Well, the blue here is an ethereal blue. So it's a card of transitions. Transition from a rut to something else. Just saying, transitions. It's the door to the other side. Yeah, this is our path. We have a pathway to out and to. And it can give possible influences and healing. So, we have the opportunity to move forward. We have the opportunity to heal. We have the opportunity to receive influence. And maybe that could be the help and the love, the affection indicated in the Sun card above. And this card leads us right into what? Into the master plan. Now the master plan is associated with the planet Mercury. So it's this card, Mercury, that helps to ameliorate the problems with the wheel in a rut. It's this card that allows us to have the drive necessary for action. And the subtitle, the side title of this card is Entreprise, which is enterprise. And you see here an L square, right? You see the L square down here, but at the bottom of the compass. The L square is the sign for space and matter. The compass above it is for thoughts and creativity. So we have space and matter and the thoughts and creativity to work with those, perhaps. The hammer, do you see the hammer? The hammer is sticking up above and from behind the plans. That hammer is apparently a celestial destroyer, but also a creator. This hammer both destroys and creates. And the blueprint is our intention. So, for living our intentional lives, we have the tool to destroy what needs to be destroyed and create what needs to be created. We have the compass of our thoughts and our creativity, and we have the L square of matter and space and time to create. So this is the card for ongoing projects. For ongoing projects, yes. So we move into a new direction and we have a new project, and we have the card that gives us the strong indication of those ongoing projects. And Saturn, the astrology here is Saturn, which echoes, the Saturn here. And Saturn here is actually helpful. Saturn here helps us build and manifest. It provides the guidelines for doing the projects that we're engaging in, which will lead to the success indicated by both the blue card and the Sun card above. So right now we might be feeling, again, we're in a rut, but we have a path forward. We have the potential of being helped. We have the potential of healing. And on the other side is a new project, and we have the knowledge, we have the guidelines to build and manifest with this card. and destroy the stuff that needs to be destroyed for the new to be built. Reminding us a little bit of the death card from the earlier spread this week. So friends, we've got stuff that is, if we don't get in the way, if we allow ourselves to follow the advice of this week's cards, of this week's spreads, we have a path forward through those moments where we might begin to feel stuck. We might begin to feel loss of energy, of our understanding of what the world actually is. We might find ourselves engaged in a draining battle. There's a path out. And that path out is to something, I think, wonderful. Not immediate instant success, but it's the path to that gets us back on to opening ourselves to the beautiful, powerful energy of intention. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And if it does, let me know in the comments below. If it does not, let me know in the comments below. How would you read these cards? I'd love to hear from you. And friends, thank you. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. It helps other people find us and join our community. Also, thank you for subscribing. That also helps. And thank you for being here on this journey with us. You are a blessing for all of us. And if you want a reading from me, my email address is below. Just saying, shoot me an email to thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. We'll get you a reading. Long, short, any kind of deck you want. All up to you, or I will help you find the deck that we want to read with you. Yes, we will find the deck for you. I have lots of options in my library. And friends, also now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.